Welcome to Foxwalk Primitive. Our first stop at Blade Show 2015 is going to be the Ontario table. And I'm speaking with Andrew, and he's going to tell me what's going on today.
All right, so one of the first things we want to show people this year, we've got some limited edition knives. It's kind of a first for us. We've tended to be more the combat knife company, very practical, very, sometimes kind of boring.
Well, production line.
Right.
Straight out production.
Right. And so these are really more of our first foray into something similar to custom knives, but obviously we're still going to be doing production. You can see this one is number 8 of 300. The serialized, it's got a stabilized walnut handle, absolutely gorgeous. And this is D2 steel. We've been getting a lot of requests for a new knife in D2. We listened. It comes with a leather lanyard. It's going to come in a Scandinavian style leather pouch. And so what you're going to get there really, it's almost kind of an old west feel. It's wood, D2 steel, leather. This one, kind of similar in concept, but very different in design. This is a modified version of our tack. Now, the original tack has a tan micarta, and it's a powder-coated blade. And so you can see the differences there. Black micarta, and then the stainless steel blade. It's 154 cm. But what really makes this one stand out to me is this long back swedge.
I noticed that.
Really gives it a very, very distinct profile. It's hard to believe it's the same knife. You look at them, you see that it's the same concept, but just that little subtle difference makes it very different.
Feeling this knife in hand compared to like what the original tacks were, it feels lighter, it feels faster. And Jerry Fisk would call this what he would call the flow of material, and this is going to just add to sliceability. That back swedge there being full length on the spine, and it's going to aid in fire steel striking. So that's a nice improvement right there.
Now these are prototypes. This is going to be part of our heirloom series. You guys might actually be the first ones seeing these.
All right.
So again, we've got stabilized wood handles. I believe these are also 154 cm like that tack mod was. And obviously with prototypes, don't quote me on any of this, it might change between now and the time it comes out. But you can see a very distinct profile. And these are really more our first foray into just true hunting knives. A lot of people use our Rat 3 for hunting, but now we're making just a very true hunting knife.
That's very comfortable in the hand. This is all really ergonomic, very smooth. You can tell it's stabilized. It seems very hard but very light. And the stainless profiles would make it great for hunting. It's not going to rust, so you don't have to worry about that. It's very nice, very light, and feels very, very slicey with that full flat and a little bit of flow of material there too.
And still, you can see again, we've really started making very pretty knives to have that little bit of extra flair, but at the same time, these are practical knives.
They are.
And so here's another one in the same line. It's really got more of that upswept point.
Yeah, for those of you that are in the know, the BK-15 is going away. It's being discontinued as it's rumored, so there's still going to be some good trailing points available, it looks like. And again, it's a full flat with a bit of that flow of material back swedge. It's just going to be very, very slicey. It feels just as good in the hand, and I mean, you can even choke up with it. That's really nice. And it's got the same overall fit and finish. I know a lot of guys out there are really starting to ask for better fit and finish from production knives, and it looks like they're starting to get it.
This we're calling the Vulpine blade. If you're familiar with the word Vulpine, it means fox-like. This is really meant for the cunning warrior. It was made with survivalists in mind. It was actually some of the input went with the SEER school. We actually had a little bit of back and forth with them. And so what you find is this knife is about 1/5 of an inch thick. It's made out of 5160 carbon steel. So you're gonna be able to pry with this. You can hammer with the end. It's incredibly tough, almost indestructible. But feel that.
Wow, it's almost light as a feather. The 5160 is a tough steel. It's going to take a lot of abuse. You can beat on this thing and beat on this thing, and I would feel confident that tip would even hold up, being 5160.
Basically, what they told us is the knife had to be almost indestructible, so it had to weigh almost nothing. Those are kind of competing ideas. So that's the reason for the skeleton design, and really just overall, it was meant to be lightweight, but again, borderline indestructible.
And I'm here to tell you it's very lightweight. You've got some you got a little bit of back swedge here. Again, flowing the material, getting rid of some of that weight, but keeping the strength. You've got positive hand guards here. Your hand's not going to slip, and you got a decent pommel. I mean, this thing is very light. It's surprisingly light. It's very surprising.
We really want to step away from making the same like boring type black knives. There's always going to be a market for that. There's always going to be a use for those. And you know, we've been making military knives for over 70 years. It's not like we're stepping away from that, but we want to be able to kind of do both.
Right.
People like pretty knives. People collect, but they also like useful knives. They rely on these knives. This way you can do both.
So you heard it here first. OKC is stepping up to the plate. They're going to produce some high-end looking knives. These knives really have a nice custom look, and they're listening. So I'm impressed. Stay tuned. We got more for you.